Hey, this is the week of September 29th, 2014, Weekly Astrology. The major news this week is the movement of two inner planets into new positions. Anytime a planet moves into a different sign or goes retrograde, we can expect to feel the impact on the global stage as well as in our own personal arenas. This week brings Venus moving into Libra, where she is the traditional ruler. This, of course, makes sense as we think of Venus as a pleasing and aesthetically attuned planet. Beauty, color, texture, and presentation are all attributes highlighted by Venus, and especially so in Libra. Walk into any beauty salon, and you are very likely to find an abundance of Librans willing to help you look your best. This is the realm of Venus, and this is the charm of the Libran. Since Libra also imbues events with a sense of balance and proportion, we may be quite happy to see her ruling planet arrive in time to introduce an air of diplomacy and equanimity. With the Sun also in Libra, we may find all of these topics in the spotlight. After all, if the planet is to evolve, it can only do so with balance and an equal sense of proportion, right? That's very logical. The other planet of note this week is Mercury. Newly arrived in the sign of Scorpio, Mercury has spent a short time here before he decides it's time to do his retrograde thing. While a Mercury retrograde usually only lasts roughly about 3 weeks, we always have to consider what is known as the shadow period. The shadow period comprises that area over which Mercury retrograded backwards and remains the shadow until the planet is completely out of this same territory that it traversed while it was in retrograde motion. In this case, Mercury will start at retrograde at 2 degrees Scorpio and then work its way back into Libra until it reaches the 16-degree point of Libra. Then it will station direct and traverse over the same ground it just covered until it is fully out of the shadow and safely on its way at 3 degrees Scorpio, which doesn't occur until November the 11th. So even though the technical retrograde is only 3 weeks, when we take into account the shadow period, it actually looks more like closer to 5 weeks that we have to be aware of. While the shadow period is not as influential, you should still heed caution during that time and avoid or postpone all the usual Mercury communication things if possible. One interesting point about this retrograde is that Mercury during its retrograde will conjoin the Sun and Venus during its backwards motion. This may provide the perfect opportunity for a reconsideration. Re is the key word. What does that look like? A reconsideration of hostility, perhaps. Iraq, or Ukraine, Gaza, ISIS, or simply a rethinking of a motive. A retrograde always forces us to review all that we do. A second glance may be all that's necessary to right a wrong. Just that simple. But a second glance is necessary to do that. Listen each Friday morning to Turning of the Wheel on Awakening Zone Radio at 11 o'clock every Friday morning. Great guests, good topics, information that you can use. While I'm on the air, you can call me at 714-364-4353 or write to me for a reading at chris@chrisflisher.com. Call me directly at 978-393-1036 to connect with me. Visit my website, turningofthewheel.com or chrisflisher.com. Astrology is accurate. It's theme-based. You will know where the action is happening in your chart based on what the astrology says. It's proven to be true without a doubt. I'll talk to you all next week. Take care.